Ready for another edition of Warpaint TV? Brought to you by Cotman Transmission, Olathe, Kansas. 913-768-1555.
Are you ready for some real football?
Welcome back to Warpaint TV. Immediately following the Kansas City Chiefs 10-6 victory over the Denver Broncos. I'm Shane Williams here with our own from Warpaint Illustrated, the magazine, Josh Scotten. Josh, it wasn't pretty today, but the Chiefs found a way to get a victory. What is it you think it took to wait? What is it you think it took for the Chiefs to get this victory today?
That was all defense today. All the pass deflection by Brandon Carr. I mean, I think that's really what did it. I mean, it was an ugly game out there. It was a cold winter game. I mean, it's the time of year you start getting those tough games. And Brandon Carr, I think gets the game ball today. I think he really he set the tone for the defense today, and that's really what the offense was struggling, and defense answered the bill. I mean, they really took care of business today, and it really kind of came down to them.
Along with Javier Reyes and Tom Ali, they each had 2 sacks. What I want to point out is, the situation. Chiefs' first drive in the second half, long 7-minute drive. They're going down the field. They get a second goal at the 2-yard line, or third and goal at the 2-yard line. Barry Richardson, false start penalty. Todd Haley pulls out Barry Richardson. He rushes Ryan O'Callahan onto the field for third and goal at the 7. Barry Richardson, he really loses his composure. He goes to the sidelines, starts shoving around coaches. The crowd started booing. It didn't look good. What do you take from that? Because from the from the end zone where I was, it didn't look good. What do you take from that?
A lot of people are going to make a big deal of that this week, but I think you got to understand about Barry Richardson. He's the most composed guy on this football team, and Todd Haley said something about it in his post-game press conference. He likes to see that kind of fire and passion from some of those guys, and if it was anybody else, I think it might be more of a big deal, but I think knowing the kind of guy that Barry Richardson is, I just don't think the coaches are going to play that much into it. He got hot. He wanted to be in there. And I think that, like I said, I think the fire that he's showing, I think it ultimately turned into a pretty good thing. And he played pretty well today. And, a player like that going out and starts shoving coaches on the sideline and goes back in the very next play, that means that tells me the coaches understand where he's coming from. And he was just hot. He's a young developing player, and Todd Haley really wants to see him play perfect. He doesn't want to see all these mental mistakes, especially down there on the 2-yard line on a big play. I mean, you can't have those mental mistakes, and that's why you saw O'Callahan run in there. But, obviously you can't lose your cool like that all the time. But like I said, the fact that it was Barry Richardson and nobody else, I think you're going to see a lot of people kicking up a fuss about it this week. But I think it's not as big of a deal as a lot of people think that it was. So.
We'll be right back after a brief message from our own Cotman Transmission.
My experience at Cotman was phenomenal.
They worked on my car while I waited. I was in and out in maybe 30 minutes.
When you're dealing with your car, you drive it every day. You need someone that you can trust to work on it.
It's a good experience.
I'm a Cotman customer for life.
I trust Cotman.
He's my Cotman man, and he keeps me rolling along.
4, 3, 2. Josh, what really caught my eye today was the rise or the comeback of Tom Bahali. Tom Bahali hadn't had a sack in a month. Today he had 2 big sacks that really turned the game around, and one was the forced fumble that really killed the Broncos' momentum. Talk about him having 10.5 sacks now in his play on the outside linebacker.
Well, as you know, he's up for a contract this year, so it was big for him it's really big for him to finish this season strong. I mean, if he wants to get from what I understand, the numbers he's asking for, he wants to be paid as one of the best in the league right now, and finishing off the season, like as you said, 3 games now he hasn't had a sack. I mean, it was really important for him to get going today, and with a low-scoring game like this, you really needed to get that pass rush going, and it was instrumental. And the 2 sacks and that forced fumble really sealed the deal for us, and really kept the momentum in the Chiefs' favor. But, 10 sacks, I mean, it's been a while since, as you know, a couple seasons ago, we didn't have too many. We set the record for least sacks. So it's really big that we got Tamba Hali going again. It really made a difference in this game. But if we want to make that playoff push like we're talking about doing, he's going to have to do it consistently. We can't afford to have another 3 games without him putting a number in that sack column. But, he played a good game, and we'll see if he can keep it up.
Okay, last week you wrote a column about eating a crow omelet for talking about Matt Castle. Today only threw 1 touchdown. Does that mean that crow might be flying?
No, I don't think so. I think that's Matt Castle's game. That's what he does. I mean, and that's what the coaching staff is asking him to do. I mean, Matt Castle is never going to be a guy putting up tons of numbers. I mean, minus that Denver Broncos game, this is a bit more of the status quo. I mean, this is what Matt Castle does. And yet again, another game with no turnovers. I mean, I think he's got 4 interceptions in the past 6, 7, 8 games now. I mean, he's been playing. He's not putting up a lot of yards, but he's playing good football. He's playing really smart football, and that's what the coaches want from him, and that's what he's giving them.
Don't miss another edition of Warpaint Illustrated, the magazine. To get your subscription today, call 888-979-0979. That's 888-979-0979, or check out warpaintillustrated.com.